starting. There we go.
Ooh, we're live.
And we're live.
It's
G'day,
live.
guys, in the chat room. We're live. We're live. We're
We are.
live. All right, let me just
Live.
change this up. There we go.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Is there anybody
Everybody.
there? Are we going to get a chance to see the chat sometime soon?
Yeah,
can't
you can
see
go and
anything
see the
yet.
chat. You can see the chat yourself if you like. Just flick it over to the one side, so you get one side being.
It says group
video.
chat, but all I can see is that Sarah's there.
Yeah, me too.
Top chat. Go if you click on it, says top chat. Click on it and go to live chat. And you'll see from there.
Where are we?
All right, so in the chat room tonight at the moment, we have a geocaching with GSM. Scott, g'day, mate. Candace is here as well. Red Ronzo, g'day, g'day. Gaz Kirsch in the house, and Eat, Sleep, Cash, Repeat, as always, is here as well. Let me see, going through. And Gaz Kirsch, she's still in Kupanook, mate, camping. Wow. Still, are you having another night, are you? Are you guys having another night there? Let me see if they... And Alcaride, g'day, g'day, g'day. Let me just mute that.
I still can't get the chat to work, sorry.
Me neither.
No, that's okay. And Belle's online now too. She says hi, Mum.
Oh, man, this is not fair. Go away.
Right? I know, right? Oh, they're having one more night. One more night. Awesome,
awesome.
And Pat
no
is
fire.
there too.
Hi, Pat.
So yes.
Hi,
All right,
Pat.
guys. We're going to make a start now, guys. In the chat room, as always, don't forget you can chat away. It's not a problem at all. We will try and see as many if you got questions, etc. About you guys know already. This is about GeoArt and Challenge Caches. We do have Sharkiefan with us tonight. If you guys got any questions in the chat room, jump on. Do the actual question itself. If we can get to the question, we will, and we can go from there. Otherwise, if we're all ready to start, we are going to make a start very, very soon. And here we go, guys.
I'm going to try and see this chat. Can't see it still.
And g'day, guys. Seemyshell's here, and welcome to episode number 5. That's right, episode number 5 of the Geocaching Downunder podcast. You can download this podcast from iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Podbean. And please give the podcast a like and a review on iTunes. And a big shout out again, as always, to geostuff.com.au for all their support of this podcast and geocaching in general. But before we get started tonight, I have an announcement to make after a great response from people looking at getting involved in this actual podcast. It is awesome to have been able to interview several people, not only from Australia, but also from New Zealand as well. And you will see some of those coming up as special guests during this year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and geocachers, let me introduce you to the newest member of the Geocaching Downunder podcast. She has her own YouTube channel and is well known all over Australia. She's been caching longer than what I have. She's actually celebrating her 10-year anniversary tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow. So I'm proud to introduce to you Linda, more commonly known as NoTomorrow, and I'm going to call her NT. So g'day, NT.
Oh my gosh, that's me.
It is you.
G'day.
Yes, and so you've actually got your 10-year anniversary tomorrow, is that right?
Technically, I
Technically.
think. You see, I might have discovered geocaching and tried it out before I signed up.
How did you try that before signing up?
I actually don't know, but I did. Somehow, when I first started out, I used to do the printing out the bit of paper thing, and you zoom in on the map and you check it out. I don't know.
Print out paper? Oh, geez. See, I've only ever had my iPhone.
Oh my gosh, really? Well, back in the olden days, we used to print out bits of paper. I know there's other people out there who know what I'm talking about.
there is. I know one of them very well as well. I think she still does print them out, but anyway.
There you go.
Back to the actual show now. Actually, NT, why don't you tell us what's coming up in this episode?
Oh, what is coming up in this episode? Well, we are actually going to be talking about the 2018 and 19 souvenirs. Also talking about New Year's resolutions. We're also going to get to chat about GeoArt and challenges. And from the reviewer's desk, we're going to be chatting with GeoAware ANZ2 about Earth Cache. Well, they are our Earth Cache reviewer, is that right?
Yes, yeah, he's our local Earth Cache reviewer.
That's the one.
I think he's Australia, the ANZ, I think, stands for Australia and New Zealand.
Ooh.
true viewer. So,
Okay.
all right, guys, let's jump into this episode number 5 of the Geocaching Down Under podcast, as always. And we'll introduce you to sharkiefan coming up straight up after this. You know, I really do actually quite like that song. I am getting lyrics together for that song.
Yeah, I want to sing.
I'm telling you now. Yeah, we will. I'm getting lyrics together as we speak. All right, so first up, we have geocaching news. And as always, we've actually had 2 new souvenirs over the new year. So that was you either found a cache or an event on New Year's Eve, and then one on New Year's Day as well. Did you get yours, NT?
I did actually this year. I was actually able to get some souvenirs because I wasn't living in a place where I'd found all the geocaches. So that was good.
And what about you, Sharky? Oh, sorry. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Sharky fans, here's to Sarah, all the way from Victoria. How you going,
Hello.
Sarah?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us. So, anyway, we'll start off straight away. Did you get your souvenirs?
I didn't. I was actually working. Yeah. So I just was like, no, and I wanted to go to an event. I probably could have gone and found a cache, but Christmas at my work is busy, so I decided I would just stay at home and enjoy the peace and quiet and the quiet Melbourne roads.
Yes, they would have been quite. Although Melbourne itself, didn't that have like fireworks and stuff as well? Doesn't that go off, or is it not like Sydney?
It does, but it's all in town, and I'm not in town, so yeah. So if you're in the city, then
that's fair enough.
Yeah, you have to go down to the like harbour or Docklands or Federation Square.
Yep. And actually, while we're talking about that, we're coming up obviously with the Clearwater event is coming up in April. That's really soon now. And then we've got the Oz Geomuster Mega in July, and St Arnaud's is in Victoria in November. Now, a little birdie has told me a little secret that Sarah, you're on the committee for the St Arnaud's event.
Yeah, so I obviously St Arnaud's quite a long way from here, but it's actually my second home. And so I'm basically working mostly on caches. So ironically, Challenge Caches and the GeoArt.
So more GeoArt's coming out.
Yes, it is.
Very good. Well, you know, we're just going to jump straight into it now. We've already introduced you. This is sharkiefan, also known as Sarah, or Sarah, also known as sharkiefan, whichever. Now, you've already done a GeoArt. It was the handbag series in Victoria.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, but I seem to geocache carrying a handbag instead of a backpack. So it's a little bit of a joke. I have a path tag that has my little shark emblem holding a handbag, and I thought, really like to do a GeoArt, but people do some, quite nice things. Obviously, last year's GeoMuster, that was pretty cool GeoArt. The shovel and pick, is it?
Yeah, the pick and the pick and shovel.
Well, that was pretty good GeoArt, but I wanted to do something a little bit more me, I suppose. And
absolutely.
What's more me than a handbag? And if you know me very well, I'm not really the handbag type. Really, doesn't really go with geocaching clothes, but it's very functional. So I thought I'd have a little bit of a giggle, make a handbag, make it real easy, and they're all about handbags, obviously. So
I must admit, I did your GeoArt. I know I did. I may not have solved all of them myself, but but as always, and this is the thing that I actually quite enjoy, especially with GeoArt around mega events, and that is people get groups together, like Facebook Messenger groups. They get together and they form like 4, 5, 6 people, and they just sit there and they do the GeoArt like over a period of time, a couple of months, in terms of the puzzles. So they all work out the puzzles together, and then by the end of the time, they can all go and actually get all the GeoArt all together when they're at the mega. Well,
it was not intended to be as sort of like a mega sort of bonus, but it actually I could have got them published afterwards, but I thought, I'll just I'll get them published the week before, or you know,
Yep.
2 weeks before, and you know, they're all pretty easy jigsaw puzzles that people can solve at home if they want to solve them as a group. I don't mind. You know, it's all a bit tongue in cheek. So I'm really happy it's been so well received and people are enjoying them, and the logs
Yeah.
have just been fantastic. So
Yeah, of course.
I just it's unexpected, a nice bonus that people are finding them who don't like handbags, who love handbags, who like the variety of handbags, or who appreciate the sort of tongue-in-cheek aspect, or you know, I did get a nice comment from some of the deaf geocaches,
Oh,
because
yes.
that doesn't involve sound. Everyone can do these jigsaw puzzles. It just
Yes.
takes time. Sometimes there's glitches with the puzzles, and if people send me a picture of the puzzle final that hasn't got the answers pop up, I'm going to send them the answers anyway. So
Yeah. And
that's
that's the thing. And this is what people turn around. Some people they don't like all the actual puzzle types, etc. as well.
Yep.
But there's plenty more than just puzzles you can do for a GeoArt. I mean, I myself, I did the Cohen Roo in ACT. 90% of them are traditionals. They're all in a state forest, and so the good part about that is there's no puzzles to actually solve prior to going. But the bad part is, in most cases, it's a bit of a bush bash to each one, because they're actually placed exactly on the spot for the GeoArt. So yeah, so you take the good with the bad, don't you? Really?
Yeah, well, I did the South Australian unicorn in October, which is a combination of letterboxes, multis, trads, mysteries, and an earth cache. So really great series.
Yeah.
Mostly because the containers are painted rainbows with a little bit of glitter on them. So
Well, and that's another comment as well that we got on Facebook. I think it was today, and that is that GeoArts tend to be sometimes boring. They tend to be sort of all puzzles. They're all in guardrails. They're all under fence posts.
Yeah.
They're all easy to get. And the idea is about just having the GeoArt. Well, we can actually still do more than that, can't we? I mean, we don't have to have them in a power trail type style. And let's go now all the way back about placing a GeoArt. So if someone's listening to this right now and they're thinking about placing a GeoArt, what's your sort of take on how they place GeoArt?
Well, you have to have an idea first, you know,
Yep.
so you need to know what kind of shape you want. Obviously, if you are wanting to put things on roads, you have to work within the 3 kilometer rule for mysteries. Multis tend to be difficult because there needs to be something physical at the start that you can access. So again, you know, it's really depending on what size and where you're wanting to put it. It can be pretty hard. So like my handbag is just all over the show in all these different parks I found, but it just worked out that it was within sort of, like, I think the furthest apart is 5 kilometers. So it can be really difficult. So the GeoArt, which is a secret up in St. Arnaud, so the design is a secret.
Yes. So you are having GeoArt in St. Arnaud?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh, there
yeah.
we go. There's breaking
Yeah.
news, guys. There is going to be GeoArt in St. Arnaud, yes.
Yeah, like that's
Yep.
that I've so working with my friend Fuff 009 up in St. Arnaud, and he's a technical genius, so he's got some program that puts a design into like a dot point, and you can overlay it on a
Wow.
map. And
Yep.
I don't get it at all, but because you need to have your fake coordinates and your real coordinates within 3
Yes.
kilometers and stuff. It can be
That's
really
right, yeah.
challenging. I mean, and sometimes there's a lot of bush, and you don't really want to have a bush bash. I mean, the St. Arnaud event is a very family friendly, welcoming to everybody. Not necessarily a T5, D5 kind of thing. Everyone we'll have something for them there. So we're wanting to make this GeoArt not really that complicated, and we don't want people spending hours and hours and hours solving the puzzles. But
Yes.
happy if people do share, but give them the opportunity to do it themselves, because they're not going to be that nasty, or what it was I thinking at the time kind of
Yes,
puzzles,
those sort of puzzles. I know, I know.
So probably nothing harder than a
Yep,
difficulty
yep,
3.5, but
yep.
definitely all lower terrain. Well,
And
saying
that's the
that
St.
though,
Arnaud's.
there are other teams working on terrain caches, so
Yes.
yeah.
So there'd be the other caches out there with the terrain DTs that you'd like, but the actual GeoArt's going to be pretty basic and simple, just for the sake of the art, which is pretty good. Now, from the chat room, the question was, can we have a GC code of one of the actual handbag series for those people who haven't done it yet? And yes, you can, guys. One of the GC codes, thanks to Eat Sleep Cache Repeat, has shared is GC7V99D. It's Golf Charlie 7 Victor 99 Delta is one of the actual handbag series. So if you guys haven't done the handbag series, you're heading down to Melbourne, would like to do it, jump on there, have a look at that one, and you'll know exactly where it is, and you'll be able to do it all. Now with GeoArts as well, I find a lot of people put them into a list. Is yours in a list? Is the handbag series in a list? Do you know?
No, I haven't done a bookmark. No.
Oh, bookmark list. Oh, well, there you go. Now you know what you're going to do after the show, aren't you? Or I might do it on your behalf. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's got to get done. I do like them in bookmark lists, because then people can just download just that list of what they want to do at the time. So that's pretty cool. Now, we talked off air as well before. You don't have to do just puzzles in a GeoArt. You can do or puzzles, I say mysteries. So you can do mystery caches. You can do Where I Goes. You can do letterbox caches. You can do multis. They're a little bit harder, as you said. You can do traditionals as well, but again, they're hard because they've got to be right on the actual pin drop itself. But yeah, predominantly they're the main ones you can do. Now, you said before you can do earth caches as well.
Well, yes. So like I said, the top of the unicorn horn of the unicorn was an earth cache. Yeah.
Wow.
Very interesting, actually.
Perfect spot.
Yeah, and see, and that's another point, guys. Because an earth cache or a traditional, whatever it is, especially because they're all different colours, if you wanted to place something specific there, like you can actually start with the earth cache first, and then move the picture around how you want on Google Earth, and just start off with the one that you need to place at that exact spot. That's how you do it, wouldn't it be?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what area you're looking at, really.
Yeah.
So the unicorn was kind of, from my point of view, it was in Whitehorse Plains in South Australia, I think, which sort of, horse unicorn, that kind of ties it together a little bit as well.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. Well, just for everyone's information as well, we are actually having they are having a GeoArt coming out for the Oz GeoMaster in July as well. Again, I don't think they can share what it is. I think everyone likes to keep it a secret, don't they? Until it all just pops out, bang, and there it is. But yeah, so they're having a GeoArt as well, and I do believe their GeoArt is consisting of a few different types, which would be pretty cool. And that's all the way down in Wollongong. For those of you who don't know about it, I don't know why. All right, Sarah, what other information have you got in regards to actually the GeoArt itself? Like, have you got any other tips or tricks or to grabbing them or to making them?
I've written a couple of notes.
Yep.
That it's good to have it's good to keep it simple. Because it's very hard to plot it out. So I found the handbag really hard to plot out. So it didn't look like Darth Vader, actually.
I am your father.
Kind of thought, well, maybe I could change it to a Star Wars theme, but then, I think there's a Darth Vader head somewhere else in the world, whereas I'm pretty sure there is no handbag somewhere else in the world. So
yes.
Yeah, so you have to be very, very pinpointed with your fake coordinates, so it actually does sort of form the right shape.
Yeah. And it's very similar, I find, to the old school, like dot to dot when you're a kid. You know, those books that you have and you just do it dot to dot. I find that very simple to do it that way. But there is, and this came from a good friend of mine, the Hancock clan, Mr. Hancock. And what he wants to do, he doesn't like doing, well, he likes doing GeoArt. He doesn't want to create the GeoArt, but he wants to become a geograffiti artist. In other words, what he wants is the GeoArt to already be there and then to add to that GeoArt that's already there. So I think that'd be a bit controversial. What do you think? What would you be like if someone tampered with your handbag?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking of adding a tassel. So,
Yeah.
if someone wants to bling it up with a flower or something, I'm good, really.
I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose if they message the CEO first and said, look, this is what I'm looking at doing, do you mind? Then it's up from there, I mean, rather than just going out and doing it. But I think it's a pretty cool idea, to be honest with you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you can, awesome.
And you have a look at all the GeoArt that's around Australia. I mean, in Queensland, you've got all that. You've got the, what do you call it, the arms, the coat of arms. In Australia, you've got the map of Australia as well. You've got the new one out, the roses by who's got that one out? The rose, the 66.99 roses or whatever. Jack's team. Jack's team's got the rose out. And then you've got in New South Wales, obviously you've got the AusGM, you've got the pick and shovel as well. You've got a few. Every single state has got some good GeoArt. It's
a bit competitive.
It is. It's getting that way.
I do think South Australia has nailed it a bit, though.
Although, in saying that, I'm going to go out and right on a limb here and say South Australia has got some great GeoArt because there's lots of it and there's good numbers in South Australia. But when it comes to the actual drawings themselves, in my mind, they actually look like hand drawn. Have you noticed that? Like with I think there's is it a whale and a fish and an octopus and all that's all down there, but a lot of them look like hand drawn.
Well,
which is still pretty cool. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing.
Cartoon rather than reality or something. Or...
Yeah, exactly. It looks like they're actually hand drawn rather than just like a computer image and overlay, that sort of thing. So I like the idea. Yeah,
I think it's good. Cool. I mean, you can't mistake what they are. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no. There's still no mistaking what they are. And at the end of the day, as long as you can see what they are, that's all that really matters.
We'll have to appreciate the shark, really.
Oh, I do. I wonder why you appreciate the shark of all people. Or we could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, I feel, but we've got to get on. We've got some information from the reviewer's desk as well. So thank you very much for joining us, Sharky fan, and don't go anywhere because we're still going to have a bit more of a chat afterwards as well. So make sure you stay on board. In the meantime, guys, I'll get you to mute your microphones. And I can try and get this up now. Oh, what did I have to do before? Oh, that's right, I had to share my screen. Now, this is going to be really weird to share my screen. Share the screen. There we go. Get out of this. Get out of this. Get out of this. Get this up. And, guys, here is GeoAware ANZ, also known as Jeff. And I spoke to him about 2 weeks ago now. G'day guys, Seemyshell here, and we have none other than Jeff, also known as GeoAware ANZ2. G'day Jeff, how you going, mate?
G'day Craig, well thanks.
That's the way. Thank you so much for jumping on our show. Now, as I've discussed with you in the past, this is basically getting more people aware of what they can actually place, different types of caches that they can place, and of course, earth caches are one of my favourites personally. So, you've got like 7 steps or something to placing an earth cache, is that right?
Pretty much, Craig. But before I start, there's a couple of things people need to understand about earth caches.
Yeah.
Earth caches originated with the Geological Society of America, whose mission is to advance. Well, I suppose it could be summarised as to increase the level of knowledge of geology in the general public. And back in about 2003. They met with the groundspeak people, and earth caches were born out of that. Yeah. The objective is to increase the knowledge of geology using the geocaching infrastructure, and the result was what we know as earth caches.
Oh, well, I'm so glad it actually happened because I think that personally, I think they are so they're not only so much fun, but they actually take you to places that you would never ordinarily go to.
That's right. Yeah, they take you to some really interesting places.
Oh, some beautiful places. And again, as I said before, I'm no scientist in any way, shape, or form, but this has really opened my eyes to just the world in general. So it's great.
Yeah, with an earth cache, the treasure is the earth and the geology in the features that you find, rather than the physical thing that you sign with a logbook. Yeah.
Exactly. And as my co-host NoTomorrow, she says, the earth is our backyard, so let's go play in our backyard.
Yep.
I like it. So what sort of information can you give people who are looking at placing an earth cache and undecided as to whether what they're seeing in front of them, can be an earth cache or not?
Well, there's two main things which underlie all of it. You've got to have an interesting geological feature which is unique in the area, and an earth science lesson which talks about how that feature was created and what changes it might be going through now and into the future.
Right.
And once you've got those two things, the rest of it are really just details.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Once you've found your feature, the hardest part is doing your research to find out about it. To do that, quite often there are signs if the feature is highlighted by national parks or local councils or whoever.
Yes.
Or sometimes you can just Google information about it, and then you have to put that information into your own words to build your earth cache.
Right.
I've actually put together a presentation to try and make this easy for people.
Yes.
And at the moment it's on the Reviewer Facebook page.
Yeah, I did see that. Now, if any of you out there haven't been to this Facebook page, it's called the Australian Geocaching Volunteer Reviewers Facebook page. So Australian Geocaching Volunteer Reviewers Facebook page. It is great. It's fantastic. You can private message and ask questions on there, and yeah, it's fantastic. This PowerPoint presentation, which Jeff's talking about, is actually on that post on that page. It's very good.
Yeah, and there's basically 7 steps. I've already spoken about the first 2, which is to choose a unique geological feature.
Yeah.
And put together your earth cache lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Then you may need to seek landowner permission.
Okay.
It's generally not required in most areas, but sometimes if it's on private property or if it's on land which is owned by the local Aboriginal population,
right,
or something like that, then you need landowner permission if people just can't wander onto it without.
What about national parks in that case then? Because I know in New South Wales, national parks are a big thing to actually place geocache. What about an earth cache in a national park?
You don't need permission, but you do need to make sure that you're not creating something which will damage the environment.
Yes.
Like you should stick to established paths, lookouts, things like that.
Right.
If you do that, you don't really need permission in national parks.
Okay. Yep. That sounds understandable.
So once you've done that, you need to determine your waypoints. The listed waypoint for an earth cache is where you do your observations from.
Right.
You can have additional points for you can sort of have point earth caches where you do observations at different points, but the listed coordinate is the first point you do your observations from. You can have parking and trailheads and all that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, just like a normal cache.
Yep. Then once you've gathered that information, you're in a position to plan out your listing, which is very similar to a normal cache.
Yes.
The last thing in your listing is a set of questions for the finder to answer to show that they've understood the earth cache lesson.
Yes.
And been to the location. One change in recent time is you used to be able to have some sort of a question to prove that you were there, which could be counting the steps or doing something on a...
Yeah, I've done those sort of things, yeah.
Yeah, but now all the questions need to relate to the earth science.
Right.
So you have to have a question which can only be answered at the site but is still relevant to the earth science.
Okay, yep, that makes sense.
Then you submit it for publication, and the process is the same as for any other cache.
Mm-hmm.
and then after publication, you need to monitor the answers to the questions you've posed.
Yes.
And you need to reply saying, yes, you've passed, and log your fine. And if people get the questions wrong, you're supposed to go through an interactive process and explain where they've gone wrong and help them get the right answers.
Okay, so you can't just turn around and say, no, number 2's wrong, number 4's wrong, try again. You've got to...
No, that's right.
You've got to become a teacher.
That's right. You're in the role of a teacher. Yeah. You're teaching your Earth Cache lesson, and you have to help the person finally understand it and get the questions right.
That makes a lot of sense. I like that idea. Just going back quickly to one of the questions, I've noticed with the older ones they say about having a photo at the location, etc. Is it true that nowadays you're not actually required to have a photo, but you can actually have it as optionable, like in a...
That's right. You can have an optional or request for an optional photo, but it can't be a compulsory part of the cache.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Me personally, I take photos. You know what I'm like. I hate the camera. I take photos at every Earth cache. Mind you, though, I want to take photos of these Earth caches because most of them are absolutely fantastic. They're beautiful locations. One you'd never actually go to unless there was a cache there. So.
That is the great thing about Earth caches. You see things that you might not otherwise see, and you learn at the same time.
Exactly. All right, then. Thank you so much for joining me, Jeff. I think we're out of time in regards to it. But if anyone wants to message Jeff, they can actually go through the Australian Geocaching Volunteer Reviewers Facebook page. Is that probably the best way to go through, Jeff? Or
they can do that, or they can go through my profile and use the email or the messenger.
That's right. So that's GeoAware ANZ2. So GeoAware ANZ2. Or if you can have a look at pretty much almost any new Earth cache listing and go through to who published it, and you can get the link from that way as well. I know this is probably the easiest way, isn't it?
That's probably the easiest way, as long as it was published in the last 2 years.
Yes, that's right. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for all the hard work you do. And I do say before, it is volunteer reviewers. These guys don't get paid. You do all this sort of stuff off your own back, and you volunteer your own time just for the fun of everyone else. And we do thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Craig.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
And there we have it, guys. Let me just fix this screen up for everyone and get everyone to jump back online. Let me...
I'm here.
You're there. That's good.
Yay!
And
Sharky
stop
fans
my
back.
sharing.
Sharky fans back.
Woo!
Sharky fans back. I can't see anyone. I'm not doing this. First time I did that. Oh, that's a bit better. Yeah, first time I did that sort of style. I do apologise straight off the bat, guys, for that audio. If you're watching this live, it's very, very difficult to try and link the audio through, and basically the audio went through my computer speaker into my microphone, so I do apologise. All right, guys. One last thing before we go, and that is we're almost finished. Stand by. I know. And just before we finish up, as I said before, if you have any questions at all of our reviewers, we are doing a reviewers desk every single month. So in other words, I'm doing an interview with each of these reviewers every single month. Hopefully some of them may join us live, which would be awesome to see. But if you have any questions at all about anything with the reviewers, drop Geocaching Downunder a line on any of our social medias, or our direct email address is geocachingdownunder@gmail.com. So, guys, that brings us to the end of the actual show. That was pretty quick. I know, right?
So fast.
I know, it's way too fast. I mean, that's only half. We've got some. You know what? We got some more time. I'm gonna prolong this. I don't care. I know, right? I'm gonna go all out and prolong this for a little bit.
What are we gonna do now?
Off script. I know, right? I know. So let's go back to actually. You know what? We haven't spoken about our I was going to say resolutions.
Yes, we
2019 resolutions. We haven't.
Yep.
NT, go. You start. NT goes.
Oh, seriously, I really don't have big ones at all. The first one I have is actually to do 1 month streak. That's the best I'm going to do. Not a year, 1 month. That is better than anything I've done. So
you might want to come to St. Anna. I've got just the thing for you.
May I just add it? I'm talking a geocaching streak here, mind you, so I just want to get that up.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We're not doing any of those type of caches. Well,
Oh, that
Sharky
could be
fan,
really challenging.
oh,
Yes.
not really, not for some. What about you, Sharky fan? What's yours?
I hope to try and get to 10,000 caches this
Ooh,
year.
nice.
10,000.
Yeah. No, not 10,000. What am I saying? I'm at 10,000. I think like 12,000, I think I'm going for.
Holy, oh wow!
Yeah.
And how long have you been caching for? I didn't even know all this.
Just over 6 years.
Jeez,
Wow,
So
nice.
that's like 2,000 a year.
Well, I discovered my statistic is 4 caches a day, 4 days
Average.
of found caches. Yeah, I've got some random thing where I can't stop it unless I get 4. So,
So are you on a streak in that case then?
no, streaking. Oh, I did 200 days, and that was enough. And that was while I moved from New Zealand to Australia. So, yeah, I'd have to maybe if I shift locations, maybe I would. I don't know.
Well,
But,
for
yeah.
those people out there want to know about streaks. I'm still on a streak
Yeah,
myself.
come on, tell us. We all want to know.
And I've moved 4 times, and I'm about to move the 5th time to keep my streak. Well, not just to keep my streak going, but it keeps my streak going. Yeah,
Where are you up to?
Coming up next month. 1,145 today.
Jeez, what's that? 3 years.
Yeah, and
Really
I'm going for
awesome,
1 month, mate. I'm trying for 1 month.
Any others apart from streaks? Anything else
Yes.
out there that yes?
I want to get all the souvenirs this year because now that I actually have geocaches within 2 hours of where I am, I actually have an opportunity to be able to get some.
Awesome.
I think I'd like to hide more this year than I have before. So I think that's all. It's all good with St. Arnold. So yeah, should be right.
Yeah, it should be. Jeez, I tell you. Yeah. So, going back on that NT in that case, then, what do you think the souvenirs are going to be like this year as opposed to last year? Last year we had a heap of souvenirs. We had so many souvenirs last year. It was insane.
Yeah, and the souvenirs were ones that I couldn't get because you had to get a certain number of geocaches, and there was like none within 2 hours of where I lived for me to be able to find, because I went and found them all, and I was like, what do you do now? I'd spend a lot of money in petrol to go and find one for, and you couldn't just find one. You had to find a number of them to be able to get your souvenir. That was like, what?
You could cheat you could cheat by dropping your trackables in.
Yeah, but you can't.
Let's not talk cheating.
No, they did you see that? They closed that loophole last time around.
Yeah.
So for the last one, the actual I think it was for the trackable lover, they did close that loophole where you can't drop and pick up your own trackables that belong to you. You could only do it to trackables that you didn't have. It didn't belong to you. So I thought that was interesting. They actually closed that loophole. Let me see. There's a couple of people in the chat room who've also said Kai Zabra all the way over in WA. One of his resolutions. Yes, Brett's over there. He wants to
can I just
cache.
quickly ask?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got to ask.
No.
Have I heard correctly that WA is not going big this year? Is that for real?
No. I think WA always goes big, but they just don't make mega.
No, but I can't see any WA goes big events, and it's like they do it every year.
No, they are doing a WA goes big because they actually announced it at Melbourne event.
Good.
Yeah, Brett.
Because that's going on my NoTomorrow list.
And it's back in, I believe it's back in its normal place of July, I think. June, July. It's normally in June, July, but last year
I thought it was in October.
It's
always been October.
It's normally June, July.
Maybe. Can guys tell
give
us?
us 2 seconds and he'll be on there. He says it's
Yes,
correct. It is going to be. Is it going to be in July, Zabra? Just tell us if it's going to be in July or what it is. But anyway, meanwhile, he said his resolution was to cache with more people interstate. It's going to be on the WA long weekend. So when is that? I don't know. I live in New South Wales. I'm not WA. In June. There you go. It's going to be in June.
Yep.
In June, in the WA long weekend, for those of you who don't know. WA goes big. June, in the long weekend in June.
Highly recommend going to Perth if anyone can get there. Very, very nice and very, very nice caching.
It is. Well, I went over to WA goes big not last year, the year before. And yeah, there were some brilliant caches along the actual what do you call it, along the boardwalk and along the ocean sort of area where we were. It was really, really nice. Some really clever hides as well. They do the BYO battery ones as well, I think they are.
Let's drop a plug for Denmark down the bottom of WA, which has the Roy Merck caches.
That's the ones, yes, exactly. In actual fact, we may see a Roy, here's another segue, we may see a Roy Merck cache, the possibility of seeing a Roy Merck cache in New South Wales at the Oz Geomaster. Because at the Oz Geomaster, we've got the 10 lab caches, and it's the lab cache challenge, state versus state. Do you know about that, sharkiefan?
Yeah, because I'm the ambassador.
There we go.
And
For
so
Victoria.
I have to just say the Victorian one is coming along nicely.
It is it?
Whilst it may not be gadgety as...
Doesn't have to be, I don't think.
Definitely going to be a very... very nice Melbourne-y Victorian thing.
Yes. And see, that's I think the thing that really intrigues me about it all, and that is we've got one lab cache. Now, they're not a gadget cache, it's a lab cache. So one lab cache from every single state. I'm looking forward to the variety. I mean, there was lots of variety down in Melbourne, but this way here, there's competitiveness and variety in their caches. So I think we're gonna get anything from the gadget stuff from Roy Merck to I don't know what you got planned, but then there's like the AR caches and all the different things that people can bring over. Because you still got 2 from New Zealand as well. So they've got North and South Island as well. So they're joining in because we all know that that's just like the eastern state of Australia, isn't that right, Sarah?
Well, yeah, it's the western state. So there.
We're the west. That's right. We're the western state.
Yeah, the western island. Yeah. I'm sorry. I should put my New Zealand accent back on.
No, you haven't lost it. But in saying that, though, again, I was over in New Zealand a couple of years ago, and caching in New Zealand, if you haven't done it, guys, seriously, you've got to get to New Zealand as well because it is so satisfying and relaxing. You can just walk a bush trail and put your arm in any hole you want without even looking first. Like it is absolutely it's so nice to do. No snakes, no spiders, none of that sort of stuff. The worst thing ever got is possums.
They do have.
And you're allowed to kill those.
Exactly.
You get points if you hit them with your car.
I know. Whereas here in Australia, we've got boxes and stuff that we put up to protect them. So yeah, I thought that was quite good too. So actually, speaking of New Zealand, 2020 is their next big event. So they're not doing a big event this year. I think they're getting all ready for the 2020 over there as well, and that's going to be in Auckland. Have you heard about that?
Yes, I have. Yeah, and to be fair, I think. I've been to most of the megas in New Zealand, bar the last 2 because of travel. But I think Auckland is a surefire win to get mega status because of accessibility.
Yes.
So I went to the first Auckland mega in 2012, and good show put on. So, and Auckland is humongous. So, yeah.
Yep. And I'm sure people like Bill and Di Morgan, they'll be going over because I mean Bill's a Kiwi as well. He likes to go back, I think. You know Di Morgan, don't you, Sarah? Of course you do.
I do.
Kiwis,
yes.
Apparently.
Hello, Di, if you're listening. Look, if there's some pretty creative teams. If Funky Monkey Zone are listening, please put some caches out. Hello, I'd like to see some. They are such cool caches. But yeah, like New Zealand is just full of quirk. So, there's a very good sense of humour. But if you can also get to Christchurch, I highly recommend Christchurch for caching. DTs for everybody, basically. So,
yeah. Well, the mega I went to was in Tarangi.
Christchurch too. Tarangi.
Tarangi. I don't know. It's just an accent thing. That's the mega I went to. In actual fact, that's where I first met Bill and Di Morgan. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There's an interesting fact for you all. It was over in New Zealand. It was a brilliant time. Jeez, I loved it. I really did like New Zealand. I should spend more time over there, I think. Definitely. Definitely.
Yep.
So anything else do we have for resolutions before
You
we
haven't shared any of yours.
mine?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yours.
Okay. All right. So my resolution is to finish my streak this year.
Ooh.
There is
Okay.
yes, there is a finish line in sight, and it will finish this year. A lot of people have been asking me my number. There's only a couple of people, a handful that know my number. It's nothing again, but it's like your handbag series, Sarah, and that is the number doesn't really mean too much to many people, but it means enough to me. You know what I mean? Like the handbag series, it's a handbag, but that's you. That's it's you personalize it, and that's what it's for. And at the same time, probably. I need to finish my DT. I haven't even done a full DT loop yet. Didn't you believe that?
You need to make some new friends.
I know.
That's how I
hang on,
finished
hang on.
mine.
I mean,
You did a
last
pretty good one the
year.
other day.
I know. Oh,
That wasn't on
yeah.
your grid, was it? You already had that one.
I already had that one.
Yeah.
But you see, I've finished my Jasma. I have finished my Jasma last year. One of the hardest things to do. I completed that last year, and I still haven't done a full DT
No,
loop.
that's not right.
Yeah. See, I've got all
You
my
went to
fives.
Geo Fest though, didn't you?
No. I went to the Giga, Cincinnati Giga,
yeah,
and went across America, and basically just doing the Jasma virtuals and webcams. So
And what's a Jasma?
Jasma. So a Jasma is actually named after the person that created the challenge. Someone
right.
Jasma, and what it is to get one cache one cache that was published every single month since it began. So since May 2000, June 2000, July 2000, so all the way through until right now, and that's your Jasma grid.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's a Jasma. So because the hardest thing about it is, I think one of the months it may have 2 or 3 caches available in the world. That is it. So I think one of them is in the States, the one in Ohio, and then I think it's in Ohio. No. Anyway, I can't remember where I went now. And then there's 2. I know, how bad is it? And then there's 2 in Europe under the same month. So there's 3 worldwide that are available for that. That's it.
And you've got it
So
done.
Yep, got it last year, but I still haven't finished my DT. Now the DTs I need, so I need 2. It's a 3.5, 4.5, 4.5, 3.5. I mean, like I've got all my 5s and everything. So I don't need any extra gear.
Come to St. Arnold, we'll put one out for you.
Thank you. Well, there's a couple here, but you see, when it comes to
I've seen them.
when it comes to 4.5 difficulty, they're all puzzles, and I'm not very good with puzzles. I must admit, I'll put my hand up. I think I saw something on Facebook the other day, and it was basically there's 2 types of puzzle geocachers, and that is those that solve the puzzles and those that drive the solvers to the actual GZ.
Yes. Yeah, I know that one.
I'm the driver. I am the driver.
I dare to say I kind of am too. Yeah.
Yep. Good. All right, guys, you got anything else, any other resolutions that you have for 2019 before we go? And thank you so much for joining us as well. Anything else before we finish up? No.
No.
And sharkiefan, all done. Anything else about St. Arnold's? I said before I wasn't going to push it, but I think is there anything else apart from make sure you get your Will of Tens in?
So all the information is on the Geocaching Victoria website with the St. Arnold tab. Obviously, there will be a bucket load, and I'm not joking, a bucket load of new caches coming out. So I'm personally working on GeoArt and challenges, some difficult and some easy. So there's plenty of camping around. There's a few accommodation options left if you don't want to camp, but there's plenty of accommodation further afield if you do want a motel. It's going to be a very family-friendly mega. Focusing on, being out and about rather than, too much like at the event itself. So we're encouraging people to get out and just go for a walk or get on their bike or go for a drive and see some of the scenery, because St. Arnold is just beautiful. So
yeah. So did you just slip up then? Is your GeoArt going to be a bucket?
No, it's not. But I could do a bucket. I could, but yeah.
A bucket load of caches and also a GeoArt. There we go. Put the two together. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for those of you who jumped on the actual YouTube channel tonight. We've had a blast. A big thanks to sharkiefan for joining us. And again, a big welcome to NoTomorrow, also known as NT. And make sure you rate and feel free to leave comments on the Podbean or iTunes sites as well. Thanks for joining us tonight. This podcast will be live within the first week of every single month. It will be available for download on Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, and iTunes. And a big thanks again to geostuff.com.au, one of our geocaching partners. So that's it from me, guys. Thanks for watching or listening. And say your goodbyes, sharkiefan. Oh, sharkiefan's dropped out.
Oh, she's gone.
Oh no,
already.
she's gone already. Oh no. So sharkiefan said to say a big goodbye. And what about you, NT?
What? Say big goodbye.
Yeah, what's your goodbye? Come on, you've got to say your goodbye now. You've got to work out your
All right,
goodbye.
All right. I will work it out. All right. What is it?
Remember.
That's right. Remember, the world is your backyard, our backyard, and you should go outside and play.
Exactly right. So from the new Geocaching Downunder team, we're over and out.
Oh, Sharkiefan's back.
Oh,
Yes, she's back.
My phone overheated. Sorry. Oh, and it's going to kick me off, so I better just go.
That's okay. That's okay. Now, for those guys who are in the live chat, we're still going to stay online for a good 5 to 6 or 10 minutes or whatever it might be. So if you wanted to have a chat to us now, you can. This won't go on the actual podcast, though. So we're going to stay online for another 5 minutes, guys, and just chat with you guys that are in the live chat room. At the moment, we've got 17 in the chat room. Let me see.
Ooh,
I'll go through who we've
17.
got.
Wow.
We've got Ziggy AU is in there. We've
Hello,
got
Ziggy.
we've got Miss Randell is in there.
Ooh, which one? I think there's two.
Candace is in there. She said to go outside and go outside and play. She likes that.
Oh, that's what I always told her to do.
Exactly. Red Ronzo, Kai Zabra's still there. Frank Fraser, also known as
Hello.
Pipes Down Under. Oh, Matt RX, I didn't see you jump in, mate. I didn't see
Matty.
you before. Matty's there. Terra Roams, welcome. And obviously Eat, Sleep, Cash, Repeat. Alcaride, and who was? Oh, Bill Morgan was in the chat room.
there,
Awesome,
yep.
awesome. Yes, he was there. Let's see. What did Bill say? You did a great job climbing down the rocks the other day, Craig. Oh, thanks, Bill.
Yes, that was actually legendary.
I know. So that
I
video,
was doing that.
part of that video should be out either on my YouTube channel or on NoTomorrow's YouTube channel, or maybe a bit of both. I think. Let me see who else has been there. Obviously, Scott from Oh Hi Videos. You're on there. G'day, mate.
Hey, Scott.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey.
It's only Barney was there as well. Let's see if there's on still. Oh, Hubby and Mrs. has just joined. Hubby, did you just join up?
They did. Hello.
Yeah, they did. They only just joined up. So,
Yeah.
yes.
And I think Little Miss Longlegs was asking about Boots.
Oh, your dog.
The dog.
Yes.
He's very happy, but apparently he's drooling over pizza at the moment, I've been told.
Oh, really? He does like to sit and wait, doesn't he, for his food?
He does. It's 'cause he
Gaz
thinks he's
Kirsch
being a
was in
good
line.
boy. Yep.
Yes.
He was.
Gaz Kirsch was online as well.
Yes. We say Kaisbra.
Let me see. What did Eat Sleep Cash Repeat? She said they are in the pipeline. What's in the pipeline? Oh, the GeoArt coming from the Gong. Kazabra, you're after the GeoArt, mate, for the Gong. Okay, yes. They are in the pipeline. They are, all the cache pages are almost complete. A little sneak peek is that they are not just mystery caches. You'll find that there's mysteries and challenges and where it goes. Even a multi might be in there as well, so that's pretty cool. Now, when will they be published? They will be published after the Queen Bee event, so after the Clear Waters event. Yeah, after Easter, exactly.
After Easter.
They may be a bit outside your notification range, yes, mate, because you're in WA.
Wide
So,
of that
yes.
range.
And what has Scott said? Scott just said then, oh yes, the 10-year anniversary event for yours.
That's right. I just turned 10.
NT, give us your wind up for the actual event. What did you get from the event?
That event was amazing. It was not what I was expecting it to be. It was so much better because the people, to be honest, was what made the event. The people that were there, they were amazing. Meeting these new people, getting to know other ones more. Saturday going out geocaching with them and getting that really cool 4-5 cache. That was awesome. It was like a whole team effort.
Breaking your snatch strap on the way as well.
Yeah, it wasn't a snatch strap that broke, but yeah, could have been. Good thing the snatch strap that you had didn't break.
Yes, exactly.
We'll have to find out what we're talking about later when watching YouTube videos. Anyhow,
yes.
But yes, the Saturday night was amazing. We had guitar, singing, bagpipes.
Kazoos. Remember the kazoos
and
as well?
Kazoos. I know.
Yes.
Dueling
Yes.
not banjos.
No.
Dueling bagpipes and kazoos.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Just fantastic.
Now, the dueling kazoos and bagpipes was actually on your Instagram feed, wasn't it?
Was in my story. Actually, to be honest, I don't even know what I recorded. I didn't even get the chance to look at it. I was like, oh, this is so cool. Just record it. So yeah.
And yes, Scott, we both, I think we both did some video footage as well. Both be doing different types of video footage for it too, so which is cool.
Because Seemyshell was there, yes.
Yes. So we had quite a few there actually. Who was there? Let's go around the campsite. There was
okay. Where are we starting?
We're talking. We'll start from the ones
tent
in
side?
no particular order. We'll just go tent side and around in a circle.
Go.
So we had
Go.
Pipes Down Under.
Correct.
Brewmaker himself.
Yep.
NoTomorrow.
Yep.
Seemyshell, Gaz Kirsch, which includes with Little Miss Left and Little Miss Longlegs.
Yes.
Then we had, of course, we had Boots as well. I forgot about Boots.
And Boots, but Boots hasn't got a geocaching name, so you know.
Oh.
Not yet.
Not yet. Then after that, we had Bill and Di Morgan.
Correct.
And we had Grub Fred and Mrs. Grub.
Yep.
And Kungula with Zara.
Zara.
Yes,
correct.
the dog. So
So there's 2 dogs.
Yes, so 2 dogs and the rest were human.
Yeah, and I've decided that it was such a good event with the people there that for my 20th birthday, I'm going to hold a giga. There you go.
A giga. good luck. Giga.
Yeah.
Australia is never going to get it. Giga's 5,000
hang on. That was before I started holding events, right?
Yeah. True. This
joking.
Now, Ziggy's in the chat room. She said you've got to get a dog trackable for Boots.
Oh, maybe I
so
could.
You don't actually have to have him as a geocaching name. You could get the trackable code for his collar.
Yeah. You see now,
Boots
I got to be honest. Yeah, I know there are a few dogs out there like was it a Bellagio who have their whole grids full from all the calendar days finding geocaches. I don't think I could do that. Nope. On you, Scott.
I know. Wow, that's
brilliant work.
exactly. And even his little dog came to my event over there when I was over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hosted an event for me to say goodbye, which is awesome work. And she's so cute.
Yeah.
Sat there at the dinner table eating dinner with us and all. Bellagio.
No, that gets pronounced right. Bellagio.
Bellagio. Of course. Bellagio.
Yes. No, I've been practicing it. Did I pronounce it right, Scott? Did I get it right? Please.
Well, you sound like you got it right because Bellagio is the actual. Bellagio is that hotel over there in Las Vegas. The Bellagio. See? So Bellagio. It has to be. I didn't even get that until just right then.
There you go.
Perfect. He said it's perfect. So yes, Bellagio it is.
I win.
All right, guys, thanks for watching live, and we'll see you in the first week of next month. And don't forget to stay tuned to after the show, and you get this little special intro extra as well. So, yes. Yeah. Thanks for all for watching, guys. If whoever's still on this, there's 22 on now. There's more watching now live than what there was when we're actually on the show. As always.
There you go.
All right. Thank you for joining me, NT. You have a good night.
No worries. And hello to everybody who comes on afterwards to watch this later.
Exactly right.
Bye.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot they can watch this later.
Yes.
Oh, how
who knows?
embarrassing.
Who else can come on later?
I can't edit this part. Oh, no.
Hello to everybody.
Everyone's saying their goodbyes. Everyone's saying their good nights.
Bye. Now go outside and play.
Guys. Yes. Woohoo! I've already done that.
And I'm not going to do that.
No. All right. See you all. Bye.
Bye.